Anyone who engages in negotiations quickly realizes that ethical decisions must be made. We immediately face the dilemma of honesty. How much should we tell the other party? Tell them too much and they might take advantage of us. Tell them too little and it will be hard to work together. And are we not withholding information that could actually benefit the other party? And is that even ethical? Ethics, broadly speaking, deals with our social standards for what is right and wrong in a particular situation, like during a negotiation. Ethics is not the same as morals. Morals deal with individual and personal beliefs about what is right and wrong. So your moral belief is a personal issue, and I will not discuss those. Although, clearly our combined moral beliefs are related to the ethical rules that we as a society create, our prescribed rules for how to behave while interacting with each other in various situations. If you study philosophy, you quickly learn that there are many different ethical perspectives, and these differences can lead to different guidelines regarding what is right or wrong, good or bad, in any given situation. As examples, behavior is ethical as long as it conforms to the appropriate rules, like the law. Or behavior is ethical as long as it conforms to the norms and values of the community. That is, it conforms to the usual and typical ways that people behave. Or behavior is ethical if it conforms to your own personal convictions. All of these approaches are reasonable and can be justified. I would argue that any behavior that involves illegal activities is clearly not ethical. If you are breaking the law, then you're not acting ethically. I would go even further to also argue that any behavior that violates the social norms should be avoided. If you would not be comfortable mentioning your behavior to friends and family, then it's probably not ethical. Finally, I would also note that at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. So if you are about to engage in an activity that violates your own personal convictions, then you should probably avoid it. So the main question then is, what are the social norms regarding ethics during a negotiation? Well, according to Harvard Law School's program on negotiation, there are 5 principles to follow. Basically, you should ask yourself 5 questions, each related to a separate principle, before doing an activity that is ethically questionable. Principle number 1, reciprocity. Ask yourself, would you want others to treat you this way? Principle 2, publicity. Ask yourself, would you be comfortable if your actions were fully and fairly described online? Principle 3, trusted friend. Ask yourself, would you be comfortable telling your friends and family what you're doing? Principle 4, universality. Would you advise others in a similar situation as you are in right now to act in this way? Principle 5, legacy. Does your action reflect how you would want to be known and remembered? Okay, so those are the relevant principles. But I said that you should ask these questions when you face a choice that involves an action that is ethically questionable. Well, what are some possible choices that would fall in that category? Here are several examples. Is it okay to make an inflated opening offer? Is it okay to not reveal your alternatives, your BATNA? Is it okay to not reveal your walkaway point, your reservation point? Is it okay to fake an emotion like anger or disappointment or happiness? Is it okay to withhold information? Is it okay to distort information? Is it okay to lie about facts and alternatives? Is it okay to diminish the other party's alternatives? Is it okay to ruin the other party's reputation through smears and innuendos? Is it okay to promise things that are not true and will never happen? Is it okay to threaten someone? Is it okay to bribe someone to get their business? Well, I will let you think about these questions. I would, however, argue that you would be pretty safe up to and including withholding information. But when you start to distort information or tell lies, perhaps in response to direct questions, then you might have crossed a line. As is always the case, any action that you take will involve trade-offs. Often choosing an act or to act ethically will involve short-run cost. You might not get the best price, or you might lose out on a deal. However, what I hope to convey in this brief and completely incomplete discussion of ethics is that unethical behaviors also carry significant cost. You might make some immediate gains, but over time, the cost of unethical actions can be very large. You might ruin your reputation. You might ruin important relationships. You might lose future opportunities. So, as we weigh our actions during a negotiation, we must remember what the true cost of those actions are. As an economist might argue, there are often very large future opportunity costs associated with unethical choices. And if they are fully considered, perhaps acting ethically is in fact the better choice.